Whoops. Wouldn't be the start of a stream without a yep loud moment. Anyway, I'm gonna check if Adam is streaming. If not, I'll post this video in here for them. And then I'll bring up the live chat. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling good pace-wise, but as the stream title suggests, we have a major problem. Why's Discord take so long to load? It crashed. The entire app crashed after taking a long time to load. Okay, Atom's playing FIFA 22, so I can. I'm 3 new. Cody getting pedantic over copy pasta. All right. Let's go. Well, let's practice to go anyway. That'll be a good outcome if I can replicate it in qualifying, and it feels like I'm hitting my lines consistently enough to reasonably replicate it in quali. I have a feeling that this short lap means that it's going to come down to a 10th, not 3. So I think my ultimate goal in qualifying would be a 0.4. 0.3 would be a bonus. Yeah, there's where I lost the bulk of my time on the first run. I just was a fraction late in getting on the power. That was too cautious. Although I did gain a lot of it back through the second bit by going all out. Made a mess of the banking. That was a really nice end to the lap. See, it was just the first half of the previous lap that was the problem. I have a sneaking suspicion that as long as the split I'm in isn't too strong, I should be able to qualify pretty high. But I don't think the race is going to go so well. Like I know I don't get into top split for in the Asia-Oceania combined region. Second split may be very strong though. We'll see what happens. I'm not planning on doing this race more than once because I have a feeling that my potential is completely gone here after the tyre change. I think before we could have gotten away with it once stopped. That was a pretty good lap. Feels like I'm more consistently hooking up the back end of the lap now. I wasn't managing it before. I was putting myself under a lot of pressure to get the back end right because I was going so fast at the start and I wanted to try and beat my record. You know how it is. When you're time attacking, sometimes you practice the front half of the track more than the back half. So you end up driving a bit sloppy in the back end. but in the immediately before a qualifying session, the goal is instead to practice for the qualifying session, which means that every run that isn't complete gobshite has to go to the end. And that gives you a better chance to practice the back half of the lap. Thought I'd be a little bit faster there, but I didn't quite get the banking right. All right. Oh well, easy win for Chupagetti then. And what is Bodge even doing? Why do you take the WRX when you have the BRZ? Well, anyway. Barton hasn't updated his status. He's actually... we only just missed out on the split above because it looks like we are the highest ranked in the room. This is probably good for us because I'm not going to be any good in the split above anyway. But if it's only guys with less DR than me that I'm racing against, I may have myself a shot at success. With that being said, Yuki did school us at the high speed ring last round, so I cannot take anything for granted. I'm on the right tyres here, I'll have to check. Because I was on the softs for... I was on the softs in... yeah, we are indeed still on the softs. I've changed the livery, but it is still a Hololive livery. Before we had a Fubuki style livery. This is not quite the exact. I'll have to track down who actually made this livery, but I did make some adjustments to make the overall livery a little less busy, read a little less cringy. Because I'd often find that that Itasha designers go overboard with it. They try to put stickers everywhere when you only when you want. You want to be somewhat subdued, especially towards the back of the car if you're planning on winning. Then the driver behind has to look at it. Yeesh went wide and I pretty much did the same thing, so I didn't get the best run. Who's coming out of the pits? looked like someone was coming out of the, was only just coming out of the pits right there. That could have been better. I think Yeesh is just taking weird lines because he's got a bit of a dodgy connection right now. Hopefully whatever's causing that will clear up in time for the race. This lap was a bit of a throwaway, and also we're going to get pwned because there's no way I can match that pace up front, even if I pull my finger out. Good corner. I just need to be a little bit more clinical through this section. That'll work. Okay, that's something. That's a lap. That's a lap. Although, we're going to need better still. This ain't it unless I get a really good final sector. How do you spin that far up or down the straight? That's what I was after. Maybe a little bit overly cautious through that bank though. That doesn't help either. No, 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 no. And now I'm going to have to let the entire group go. There's no room to slot in on the track. I'm just gonna. And this run in to Sector 1 on this lap's going to be bad too. Yeah, this lap was not going to be any good anyway. I better just let the next car go and refocus my efforts on the last two attempts. When I said come watch me die, I meant after qualifying, not during it. This is more like it. Let's get a good one in. How did I lose a 10th on that sector? That was a perfect sector, and I lost a 10th on it. That one was definitely not a perfect sector though. Somehow I improved my time even though I went way wide at the second to last corner. Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to be as fast. In fact, that might be my session over because I don't think I got that hooked back up. No, I'm up. I know I'm going to gain a little bit of time. There we go. That was the lap. That has saved my entire session. A little bit annoying actually, because if I hadn't have messed up the first half of the lap, I'd be starting 7th, not 8th. But it's not a big difference. I'm going to trust that with so many drivers ahead of me, most of them are going to, some of them are going to be on hards, so I'm going to take the hards as well. I feel like given the pressure I put myself in earlier on in the session, getting back up to 8th with that lap was pretty good. Chupagetti, you know, he's way back here, but I would still peg him for a top 5. He's still got plenty of chances in this one. YouTube stop giving me error messages when I'm trying to read chat. It's like you were saying, there was a problem with the server. I agree. Internet's fine. If it wasn't fine, I'd be... If it wasn't fine, I'd be out of this lobby. No one's saying anything anyway. Excellent lap from Lily. The MR cars are finally good. As you can see, they've taken a front row, well, 3 positions including the Porsche, but the Porsche was good before. Well, let's just call it a front 2 for our top 5 lockout. We'll call it a top 5 lockout anyway. It's still an MR car. Let's try to be elite. But most likely be fuck you. Full grid makes it to the race. It's always nice to see a full grid of 16. I tested it. ×3 fuel is marginal here, but you still burn fuel. Oh, Lily's out. Lily's out after getting pole. That is savage. Okay. What the hell? That is the weirdest start I've had, but it actually simplifies this corner tremendously, because otherwise it was going to be a nervous braking zone. Gran Turismo 7 still does not know how to handle drivers disconnecting during the start procedure. But hey, 3rd place for us. Oh, that's right, the dirty air is terrible right now, so I can't pitch the car in because we've got a car in front of us. It's like we're driving Group 2 cars right now with how much dirty air there is. That, and we've gone from softs in quali to hards now. Wow. The Lexus ahead is all over the place. I may be able to get him. I'm not gonna force the issue. Please stop defending. I'm not trying to force the issue yet. Besides, I just lose the time back again through these turns because the dirty air is pretty bad right now. What kind of line is that? If you can't stay ahead of me, just let me go. I'm being selfish right now because I know I have to stop twice and I know that this is just costing me good time after bad. Oh shit. I'm not sure how I didn't pull up in time. That was a pretty early on the brakes from me, but see, I really needed to be ahead of this Lexus instead of behind. If I'd done a little bit better in quali, I probably could have been ahead and using Yuki as my guide instead of this. Alas, the fine margins end up costing you more time over the race distance. It's why I put so much stock into time attacking in the first place, because I know that qualifying is a good portion of the race with these race lengths and the rolling starts too. He has to trust that I'm not going to make any stupid moves just because I've got a run on him. I haven't had enough of a run yet. Anyway, we've managed to get the mistake out of him, so we will be claiming that position at the end of this lap. With that in mind, there's even less reason for him to defend because he knows that I'm all too happy to wait. And then I do something stupid like that. Why is the penalty zone there? Right after the corner. That's a recipe for disaster. Subaru's probably going to get him. We can probably run away with it a little. I had to go in a little bit deeper just to make sure no one dive bombed, ran into me in the process. Well, within the next lap or two comes the moment of truth. Do I try for the one stop? Because it still doesn't look... It feels like my tyre wear's been slightly better, but I still wouldn't put money on me making it to lap 9, because that would be the bare minimum of what I need to do. I don't think we're making it to lap 9. We didn't lose as much time as we could have behind the Lexus. I think we were only at most going to go half a second lap faster, and not on every lap even. I think there is some deg, but it happens so late that it's a very fine line between early signs of deg and getting a puncture, because right now that's the only thing that happens. You get a puncture. The only actual effect of tyre wear. Up until that point, you've got max grip or near max grip. It's not just me coming in, thankfully. Oh, that's cruel. Barton was just in the right spot to get me there. Okay, he's off. Ah, sad to see him go. It's clear he hasn't had a good race in general though, because that looked to be him before pitting. Ah, no, someone's DMing me. No, bad time. I can't even pause to turn the do not disturb on. I forgot to turn the do not disturb on. Unless it's someone texting me, it shouldn't come up more than once, because I think if you don't read the first message on Discord, it doesn't keep pinging you. Concentrate now. Okay. That could have been better. Managed to pull my finger out towards the end of that lap, but still not quite what I'm hoping for pace-wise. You can see what I was hoping to do though, because we are closing in on Yuki. I reckon we had a chance of staying with them if I started ahead of the Lexus rather than behind. We don't know what our actual position on this race is until we take our second pit stop though, because we are going to have to take a second stop at the end of next lap. And I think during that pit stop I'll try and put the do not disturb on just to make sure. Just to make sure I'm not bothered again for the remaining 3 laps. Oh, actually it's only 3 laps. What's the big deal? Okay, new plan. We hope that some drivers ahead puncture. We've taken our 2 required compounds. Oh geez, I'm going to come out behind Eamon Arby. Oh, actually alongside Eamon Arby. No, we got free space. 11th. Payne Pecco. Here we go. Intercontinental ballistic missile for 3 laps. If there's places to be gained, I want them. Oh, there's a late pit. We're going to get that place. Means we don't quite fall out of the top 10. 17.7. Yellow flag, that's going to get us a place. It's all kicking off now. There's a puncture ahead. This has suddenly turned into a decent result. I mean, I'm still not entirely happy with it, but this was the best I could do. But you can see what a difference it makes to actually have more yellows. I thought for a moment I had another position coming my way. But after all of that, we finished where we started, and it didn't really matter that I lost some time because I was going to need another 8 seconds to get 7th anyway. Yeah. I'll go read the DM. Okay, so we kind of died, but wow, Yeesh won this race. That's screenshot worthy. Well freaking done. I don't think I'm going to get... I don't think this is it, Chief. I have to pit twice. Everybody else is pitting once. Or at least everybody that can compete for points tonight. So, yeah, this is another throwaway round. Well done to Yuki for Clay taking 4th here. I don't think I could have done much. I don't think I could have done a much better race than that, to be honest. We'll move on to Toyota Cup. My driver rating stays mostly intact, although I was the highest rated in the lobby, so I may lose a bit of DR instead of gain it. Let's have a look at what everyone's tyres were like, because, well, I'm gonna do the car wash and oil change first. As you can see, I put a lot of effort into making sure I at least did the best race I could. I ran the race simulation twice. I did some time attack. But we're going to look at the replay, but when someone disconnects from the race, during the start procedure, weird things happen. But what now? My result wasn't elite, nor was it PON. This isn't very Miko-esque. Yeah. I don't care about swearing on my channel, so I'll allow that message. Yeah, same thing happened for me. I ended up having to shift down to second to take the start. Like, I can just show you the start if yeah, the leader didn't even need to take turn 1. So here's what happened. You've got Hayate Lily leading the field away. Disappears. The game doesn't know what to do because everyone else is supposed to be following the leader, so it just releases everybody at full throttle. And then at some point it realizes, actually, we're supposed to be starting the race now? So you've got top two got a decent advantage on the rest of the field, so well done to Yeesh for clawing that back. Yeah, I had to go back down to second gear. It at least put me in a position where I was out of danger from the head or behind, because Sardegna is always a very difficult turn 1, even on a rolling start. I don't know what this guy was doing though. He seemed to have no idea how to drive, even though he'd put in a good qualifying time. So it kind of stuffed my race, because it was just good enough to prevent me from passing, but not good enough to stay with Yuki. I think we were all just trying to get used to the dirty air, because the dirty air was like you were in Group 2 cars, but we were in Group 3. And that is despite the game taking some rear wing off of the BMW. Yeah, it's got 430 570 now, when it used to have 439 590. But the other thing, well, now that you're here, I'll show you what my tyre wear was like when I decided that I needed to pit. I don't think that was going one more lap. And Yuki had much of the same problems. Although his wasn't as bad, he could at least go one, if not two more laps. Of course, ideally I would have wanted to have been in an MR car where the front tyre wear isn't as much of a problem. Yeesh, in fact... Oh, I see. I see what the problem was for the leader. The Honda had really bad tyre wear in this race. Very difficult to make a one-stop work. So yeah, you can see I had to pit. Not a lot of other drivers did. I think some people still did. Some people still did. That's a pretty weird combination of sponsors. Ineos, but with Anya Racing. These are the kinds of... Oh, wheel stand was so bad after 7 laps he had a puncture already. I played it safe. I just wanted to make sure... Yeah, that was a bad idea from Soto. I think he tried to go to the end on that medium set when he could have easily taken one more. Oh, he put the hard... Oh no, it was the mediums. Ah, I see. Active stability management. You know, I know. I saw you were having trouble with that because I knew that you hadn't pitted yet, but yeah, I was already on you, and it was going to make for a bit of a risky lunge, but then I saw you go off, and that was actually a 3 kick for me. That was actually a 3 kick for me because it meant that ultimately I didn't lose anything coming out behind you. There were still places where I made minor mistakes, but I don't think I could have made 8 seconds up in this race. And that's what I would have needed to have gotten to P7. We see that barely made it 8 laps on hards. I can see why this driver ended up the puncturing. But for some of them who were marginal on tyres, getting a puncture was actually better than taking another pit stop because you lose 19 seconds for a pit stop, but only 10 for a puncture. Ah, counter steer assist. I wonder if I should have used it then to try and save my tyres, because I mean it's possible, it's plausible. Chubagatti definitely would have gone 9.6. I mean, right now I'm just trying to break down the race. Wow, yeah. I imagine this guy lost a lot of time on that first stint, just trying to make sure they got to the end. Yeesh survived. I don't feel like going again because I feel like going again is just asking to be spanked again. But I may consider running this combo back on Monday with counter steer assist on, just to see if I can go 6 laps on mediums or something, because I'm going to be on the game on Monday to grind for the McLaren. I'm not going to stream, of course. At this point, I was feeling quietly confident because I thought some guys might stuff their strategy, but it's clear that it's clear that those who made it to lap 9 on their first stint were always going to make it, and I was always going to have to pit. As you can see, Soto tried to stay out, but that didn't work. Wheel stand taking a soft stint. Decided to take his soft stint early. Whereas I waited till the end. And actually, if it wasn't for the lap 1 glitch, I reckon I could have taken faster. I reckon I would have had fastest lap, because I got a 17.7 at the end of the race. But let's skip to the good bit. This guy had to pit, could not go to the end. Let's look at everyone's tyre wear as of the last lap. So what happened? So did these two both puncture right at the end and Yeesh won? Because it's looking like it. Yuki was on a knife edge. Chupagetti was fine. Soto's already punctured. This guy's about to. And I'm coming in like a house of fire. Yeah, if you're not careful on those punctured tires, it can cost you more than 10 seconds. It doesn't show the puncture, but it drives like you've got a punctured tire. But yeah, let's see this. Yep, that Porsche's gone. This guy's Christmases have all come at once, but then he's like, oh no, I can't turn either. And Yeesh is like, stuff up, stuff up, stuff up. Oh, he's stuffed up. Oh, he's done a Rosberg. Or not a Rosberg, a Leclerc. And this guy spun again. Got to be really careful on those tires. Ah, if only I had been capable of doing a one-stop myself, because I would have been right there. I would have been P5, but alas. All things considered, pretty good result for Chupagetti too, considering how far back he qualified. You got to remember, he did not qualify well at all. He started 10th or 11th even behind me. So yeah, he probably should have won in the BRZ, but considering where he started, I think he's done a decent job. So yeah, that was a fun race to dissect. I'm gonna call the stream now. Tomorrow, I hope I can get an actually good result on the dirt. I'm feeling quietly confident, but I know that my pace isn't going to be race winning, so it's just a matter of how many people can get on pace by then.